Rhythmic magic is fun and easy to understand rhythm magically. Hello, Richard Schwagel here. Today we're going to talk about understanding rhythm with Rhythmic Magic. Basically, this company was designed to simplify rhythm so that everyone had a better understanding of it, not only to apply it to music, which first comes to mind, rhythm, which is nothing more than organized sound and movement within space and time, but we label it based on things we already know. I always liked when Groucho Marx couldn't figure something out, and he would say, "This is so simple, a 5-year-old could figure it out. Someone go fetch a 5-year-old." What makes rhythm so confusing for most people is they think there's 200 rhythms and 3 tempos: slow, medium, and fast. Tempo just means how fast or slow a song is being played. So let's take a look at our metronome. We have a digital one here, and if I set it to 60 beats per minute, it's just like our watch and the second hand. 1, 1000, 2, 1000, 3, 1000, 4, 1000. So now if this is our tempo, and most tempos are set to quarter notes, there's our 1 beat. 1, 1, 1, 1. Now, we call it 1 beat because it's being played in the space of each click. So the best way to learn rhythm is based on what you already know. Let's take 1-syllable words and say them at the speed of 60 beats per minute. Cool cats have fun. So now we see that the quarter note rhythm is 1 beat each. 1, 1. Now if I double the speed to 120, most people are going to think that's 1/8 notes. Well, based on the tempo of 60, they would be right. But based on a tempo of 120, now these are just medium quarter notes. 1, 1, 1, 1. Now if I was to double this tempo, 120 to 240, most people think now that that's 16th notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, groups of 4. But in reality, if my tempo is 240, those are still quarter notes. Very fast quarter notes. So let's take a look at what controls rhythm. Let's go back to my original tempo of 60 beats per minute. So if we were to think of quarter notes, cool cats have fun. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if I want to go twice as fast, now I need a group of 2. Rhythmic magic, simple, easy. 2-syllable words. We counted 1 N, just like we added something. 1 N, 2 N, 3 N, 4 N. If we use words with 3 syllables, now we have our triplets. Pokemon, carousel, butterfly, triangle. Traditionally, we would count them as groups of 3. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. And last but not least, groups of 4. 4 times faster than the quarter note would be a 4-syllable word. Alligator, watermelon, motorcycle, all together. If we take a close look at the name of each rhythm, it gives us the answer. There are 4 quarter notes in every measure or grouping of notes. They tell us that at the beginning of the piece by saying the time signature is the fraction 4/4. The top number or numerator tells us how many, and the bottom number, the denominator, tells us what kind. Well, 4/4 tells us there are 4 quarter notes in every measure. If there are 4 quarter notes, there are going to be 8 eighth notes. Hence, that's why they call them eighth notes. In terms of triplets, they're groups of 3, so we're going to have 12 triplets in one measure. There's going to be 16 16th notes. Hence, in a measure of 4/4, or 4 beats, we have 4 groups of 4, or 16th notes. Basically, we use rhythm in almost everything we do, from talking and walking to sports. Even our breathing is based on a rhythm. Rhythm is nothing more than organized sound or movement within time and space. If you didn't have a sense of rhythm, then you would be talking like a robot, out of sync. But very few of us talk like that. Same would be true if we were walking or running. Now, people with physical difficulties, yeah, they're going to have a challenge trying to be rhythmic in talking or walking. Rhythmic magic is fun and easy to understand rhythm magically. If you remember, when you were 3, you know that rhythm was simplicity. What if I told you you already know the 4 basic rhythms? Everyone has learned the 4 basic rhythms since they were about 3 years old. Let's look at the song Twinkle Little Star. If we were to use groups of 2, twinkle, twinkle, little. So we have a 2-syllable word, twinkle, twinkle, little star. Then we have a 1-syllable word. So what do we have here? Groups of 2, which we call eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Beat 4 was a quarter note, a 1-syllable word. Let's go to the next song that used that same melody. If we start out with the alphabet song, we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Good, our groups of eighth notes and a quarter note. H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. What was that group of 4? Well, those are 16th notes. So we had our quarter note, which was star. We had our eighth notes, which was twinkle. And then we had our group of 4, which was L-O-M-N-O, or letters. L-O-M-N-O, P, another quarter note. If we take a look at the uneven rhythms, groups of 3, or triplets, we can sing Row, Row, Row Your Boat, and not only get all 3 triplets, as we will see in the slow shuffle or triplet groove, but also broken triplets, which we will see in the broken shuffle. Let's go right to the middle of the song where it says, merrily, merrily, Pokemon 4 triplet. Doesn't really matter how you count it or say it. In this case, we're singing the lyrics, or 3-syllable words. Merrily. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Life is but a dream. So the last part of it is the broken shuffle, where we take out the middle triplet. 1 triplet, 1, 2, 3. We take out 2, or trip. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Instead of all 3 of them, we have just the first and third one. Life is but a dream. So our syllables will help us understand our rhythm. Now, if we understand how the brain works, we realize it only wants to understand or keep track of 4 things at one time. Even our phone numbers are groups of 3, and 4, but it never goes to the number 5 or past that because it's harder to remember. So if we follow Aristotle's suggestion, we learn based on what we already know. Let's take a look at rhythm based on numbers, colors, and syllables. Everyone talks about a quarter note getting one beat. Well, what does that mean? Well, it means it's 1/4 of the whole. Now, some of you younger students might not have learned fractions yet, but I'm sure you've had 4 quarters in your hand and couldn't wait to spend it. So if I say that the brain likes to keep track of or remember 4 things at once, well, here's our 4 quarters. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's associate it to 4 quarters in a dollar. And for you who know fractions, 4/4 would mean the whole, or 1. And we're saying 1/4 gets 1 beat. That makes sense. And we organize our beats in groups of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what we call common time. They're telling us there are 4 quarter notes in every measure. The cool thing about music is they're giving us all the answers. Understanding rhythm based on reading it off a piece of music is based on just a few simple ideas. With the unique play-by-numbers system created by Rhythmic Magic 20 years ago and patented, meaning one of the only systems that actually works, is taking traditional drum notation, which can be a little confusing and complex, particularly for younger beginners, and we take a look at how we write out traditional notation. Look at this little tiny square here. You can see that we've simplified the basic concepts you need to know. The 5 lines that we read music on is called the staff. Traditionally, drummers would use the bass clef, but now they use sometimes a neutral clef. If we organize our measures, which are basically just 2 bar lines separating the 5 lines, we can look at the time signature, which is just a fraction or 2 numbers. 4/4 is common time, the most common time signature we use. Basically, the top number tells us how many, and the bottom number tells us what kind. So 4 quarter notes in every measure. As a drummer, we basically learn grooves based on rhythm. The 4 most popular basic grooves are quarter notes, eighth notes, triplets, and sixteenths. So to understand it, a quarter note gets 1 beat, and it takes 2 eighth notes to equal the same beat. So if a quarter note is slow at this speed, then eighth notes are twice as fast. Triplets, or groups of 3, would be 3 to every 1 instead of 1, 2, 3, 4. We do groups of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And of course, 16th notes are groups of 4. Tempo is basically how fast or slow a song is being played. This is probably one of the most confusing factors in understanding rhythm, because we can take one of the 4 basic rhythms and play it at over 200 different tempos. We already know numbers, 1, 2, 3, and 4, as well as colors. In this case, we have 4 basic rhythms, and we create 6 different grooves. Realize these videos were put together not only to teach you drums, but also to have a better understanding of rhythm, which you can apply to any instrument. My company, Rhythmic Magic, was created to help all musicians understand rhythm based on what you already know. The next time someone says they don't understand rhythm, have them sing these 3 songs and clap the rhythms. Don't forget to share with your friends and family how simple rhythm is and how easy it is to join the band. Can't we all just drum along? Rhythmic Magic is fun and easy to understand rhythm magically.